Hi, welcome to LaRusso. How may I help you?
Hi, I just need to pick up my car. I'm in a bit
Oh,
of a hurry.
this came in last night? Well, it's going to be at least a couple of weeks, but we'll call you with an estimate.
No, my car was not supposed to come here, okay? I want to tow to a different body shop.
But why? We have the number one service team in the Valley. We beat all prices. We kick the competition.
Yeah, I've heard it a million times. I just prefer to do my business elsewhere.
Oh, okay.
And here are the watering instructions. Before you go, Mr. Russo wanted to thank you personally. Let me go get him. Can you hurry it up? I gotta go.
Hold on. It says your car is in one of our intake lots. I'll just figure out which one.
You know what? I'll come back tomorrow.
But sir,
End scene. Wow, that was great.
You are awesome. Thank
You too. Oh my god, I was getting like nervous, like hearing you, like,
No.
because like it's like you're using like the same Sheila voice. It was like identical.
No, you were perfect. This was so much fun. Just know you were awesome.
That was great. That was great. For everyone out there, we literally just like came up with this like 15 minutes before the stream to do that, and that was the first time we did it. We just did right on the spot. So
You're a natural. It was great.
thank you. So, um, everyone, this is Kwajalyn Brown. I'm very excited to interview her today. She played Sheila in Cobra Kai season 1. So right off the bat, since we just did that scene, I know you saw the recreation that I did, the episode 1 where I recreated the whole first episode, including doing that scene, which I was getting some memories filming that, just saying the lines. So what were your thoughts when you watched that for the first time?
The recreation?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I thought it was so cool. And I was like, the first thing I thought of was he put a lot of work into this because that is not easy to get all the angles and all of the scripts, and all of the words. And I mean, you absolutely nailed it. And I love that you pulled your parents into it. I thought it was great. No, I was really flattered. I thought it was awesome. I tell
Thank
everybody all the time.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that took me a year to make the whole thing.
Oh, God. Yeah,
Yeah.
oh gosh, I can only imagine, but it turned out so great. So you
Thank
should be
you.
very proud of yourself.
Thank you so much. I actually started it before I made the channel. So it was like I just did it with the sole intent of just wanting to do it. And then like in that year I made the YouTube channel. I was like, "Oh, I'll just post it on here." And
Oh
yeah.
wow. Oh wow. That's pretty cool. Okay.
Yeah.
I
And it's
love it.
actually coming up on the 1 year anniversary of it, April 28th. So that means I messaged you a year ago about it, which is kind of crazy, right?
Yeah, I know. I know. It's time flies, doesn't it?
It does. This whole year went by really fast. So,
Yeah, yeah.
um, so how was my Sheila?
Sheila is great. Sheila is still at LaRusso. Sheila is still, behind the scenes trying to make everything run. She's great.
How is my version of her in the recreation?
Your version. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
No, I thought you were really good with that too. I thought you really nailed it too, especially, you're just like, but why? Why would you not want to be here? I thought you nailed her perfectly. It
I
was
love
great.
that scene. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, we were talking about it. That whole thing, like Johnny just wanting to get out of there. He's like, come on, just give me my car. And then
Right.
she was like so like friendly until she's like, wait, why don't you want to be here? This is the number one.
Place in the world. Like, this is great. You should want to hang out here like all the time. What is your problem?
Yeah.
But no, that was a fun scene to shoot. That was a really, really fun scene to shoot. And, Johnny was great. Great chemistry, great energy. So that's actually one of my favorite scenes.
Yeah, for sure. It was a fun scene to watch. I definitely got a lot of laughs, and filming that was fun. That whole dealership took me like 7 days. The whole thing, yeah. So it's a lot, but
It
it was
was, but I mean, you got everything that I couldn't believe it. I mean, even the different camera angles and the cuts and the edits and everything. I was like, this kid is really dedicated. So
thank
that was
you.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I try to do everything like perfectly. If you had a line that was spoken while the camera was on Johnny, I did that, like all the cuts. So that's why it took more time, but it was
Wow.
fun.
Wow. Well, it turned out wonderful. I really love it. I really do.
Thank you. And you were one of the first actresses who responded to it, because I sent it out to a bunch of the people who were in the episode. And when I saw you responded, I was like, oh my God, Sheila saw the recreation. So it's
Oh, it
very
was
cool.
great. I was so flattered. I almost cried. I was like, this is so, this is so dope. So, and it actually, you know, with all the craziness that was going on at the time or whatever, it really lifted my spirits. And it just made me so happy that, you know, something that I was a part of touched someone else so much. So that meant a lot to me.
Yeah. And I know it's touched a lot of us here, everyone here. We got 70 people watching right now. Thank you
Oh,
all for
wow.
being here.
Oh,
Yeah.
hi.
So yes, so today we're going to talk a lot of Cobra Kai, and we're also going to be raising money for SAG-AFTRA, which stands for Screen Actors Guild, American Federation of Television and Radio Artists. Sorry, I had to write that down because I knew
It's
I wouldn't
okay.
remember that,
It's a long
but
one. It's okay.
it is. So do you want to talk about what the organization is and why you wanted to help fundraise for it today?
Sure. The SAG-AFTRA Foundation is actually part of SAG-AFTRA, of course, and they give a lot to SAG-AFTRA members as far as like free classes and workshops and things like that. When the pandemic hit, the foundation started raising money for performers that were out of work because, you know, the theaters closed down, stage closed down, everything closed down, and so this was a way to help performers that were in need, you know, to help pay bills, buy food. It was a way for all of us to donate to each other and to help keep us all lifted. So I think we were saying before, I think the last number I remember is like around 8 million that was given to performers over the last year. So it's really helped a lot of us out of a jam. And so I thought that it would be perfect to continue to raise money today. So I appreciate everyone who has donated so far.
Yeah, that's great. And yeah, if you guys want to help donate, either under the video or to the side of the video, there should be a big donate button. If you look in the chat, you'll find it. And yeah, help donate with whatever you can. And if you can't donate, I put a link to their website in the description, so you can just check them out and see what else you can do. So,
Oh, and
as
I wanted to thank you for doing this. I was saying before, I haven't really heard of, you know, interviewers doing this where they're raising money for charity at the same time. So I want to commend you for actually putting this into motion. So thank you.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for being here and help support it. It's a great cause, so I'm just happy that I can use my platform to help out, and to have you here on is especially like better. So thank you. So so yeah, you were talking about, like, actors and actresses during the pandemic have had trouble in the beginning. Now stuff is picking up, but in the beginning, like, a lot of jobs. How was it like for you, like, when it all started?
It was weird because that was normally my busy time. You know, you have all these auditions that you're doing and you're running from here to there and next, you know, and everything just stopped overnight. I mean, you go from working and focusing to everything just, I mean, it was just surreal. Um, Even outside of what was just why everything stopped, that was also kind of a challenge because, you know, you didn't have anything to distract you from that. So you really had to just kind of sit in your space. So it was tough not working. It was tough not auditioning. But the great thing was that happened pretty quickly is you had a lot of casting directors that started holding free workshops for actors. You had actors that were getting together and they were creating different web series and things just over Zoom. So we had to find a way to be creative outside of the norms. And so that kind of helped us kind of stay in our rhythm, and it kind of helped us deal with all of the stuff. And yeah, so in the beginning it was rough. I can't even lie, but it started to kind of even out when we banded together and did stuff for each other. So yeah.
Yeah. So what kind of stuff did you do over Zoom?
I mainly participated a lot in the workshops with the different casting directors, which was
Yeah.
cool. So sometimes we could choose our own scenes and then we would act it out with other actors, or sometimes they would choose scenes for us. And so I did that. I also joined a lot of peer groups, like support groups. So we would just get together and talk about how we were feeling and, you know, what we could do to support each other. So, you know, just kind of stuff like that.
Yeah, that's cool. I've seen like a lot of you know, shows and stuff in the beginning, like going to like doing like the online stuff, which
Yeah.
yeah. So
But you know what was crazy is my last scene, the last role that I had before everything shut down was on The Resident, and I was the patient that died from this mysterious virus.
oh
That
my
was like,
God.
so
No.
it was a little, it was a little strange, but yeah.
When was that?
That was last March, actually, that I shot that. And I think it aired the end of March. And so my friends joke with me, they're like, you must be the face of like pandemics, because another role I did was on containment. And it was another where this virus got out of control. It was like destroying the earth. And
Oh
so I
my
was
God.
on that show too. So yeah, I don't know what that means, but yeah,
Yeah, it was like foreshadowing or something.
I guess. But so now I'm almost afraid to get any other auditions for anything like that. So I'm like, I don't know.
Wait, so two completely different roles where your character got killed by a virus?
Well, in the first episode, the first role I did, I didn't get killed, but my husband died from the virus. And so I was in the middle of a whole bunch of pandemonium. But this one, I actually died on camera. So yeah.
Got it. And what are these two shows called again?
The Resident was last year, and then the other show was Containment, and that was a few years back.
Like what are those about for those who don't know
Oh,
what it is? I don't know what it is, so
Containment is this show. How do I all I can say is just this virus is going around killing people, and it was like airborne, or if you touch something, or you know, whatever. The Resident is a show about a hospital. It's called Chastain, and it's based here in Atlanta, I think, yeah. And it's just about different cases that they do every week that's coming up in the hospital. And so for my role, there was this virus that was kind of sweeping through that nobody knew anything about, and it was I don't want to give away any spoilers, but yeah, it was just kind of spreading through the hospital. And so I played an EMT that came in and nobody knew what was wrong with me. And then I just kind of deteriorated throughout the episode till I expired.
got
And
it. Got
I was the case that week.
it. So how is it? We were talking before and you said in January you started to like, you know, things started opening back up and you started to like do acting again. So what have you been involved in recently and how's that going?
Unfortunately, I'm under a bunch of NDAs, but I think I can say, I believe I can say one. I'm going to NCIS New Orleans was one of them. So that should be coming out in a couple of weeks, but the rest of them, I can't say anything yet.
Oh, fun.
Yeah,
When did you do that?
that was last week. Yeah, that was last week that I shot that. So yeah,
And it's coming out.
coming out, I think next month sometime. I think the first week of April, I believe.
Oh, that's soon.
Yeah, yeah. I think they some shows actually air as they shoot.
Oh,
So yeah, so and then when you're a network show, they kind of have it's kind of like a well-oiled machine, so they kind of know what to do to kind of get them out there. So yeah, so it's
got
pretty fast.
it. Yeah, I guess I'm so used to like the Cobra Kai where you have to wait like it's like it comes out 2 years after you film.
Oh, it's not that bad,
Well, season
but it is a
three,
way.
season three, that was
Yeah,
that
that wasn't.
that was like 2 years,
Yeah,
which
that
was
was a bit.
crazy. But I
Yeah,
mean, it was ultimately for the best, and you know, it had to happen.
it had to, wasn't it great? Oh, that
Yeah.
whole season was great. And I love just bringing back some of the old characters. And that was, I mean, I grew up now. I don't want to date myself, but I watched Cobra Kai. I mean, I'm sorry, Karate Kid when I was a kid. And so to see all of these characters come back that I remember was just so amazing. I loved it. I loved the whole season. It was great.
Yeah. Which characters in particular were you excited to see back?
I loved seeing oh God, I'm sorry, I can't remember her name, but Daniel's girlfriend in Japan.
Komiko.
Yes, coming. Oh, I was so glad to see her. I was like, oh my gosh, she looks wonderful. She looks great. And you still saw that old chemistry. So that was really great. Because I love their love story back in Karate Kid. So yeah, I thought
Yeah.
it was cool to see her.
Oh, I was very emotional when she returned. I thought they did that really great.
Yeah, it was. And when they were reading the letters and just the whole thing, it was beautiful. It was just beautiful. So I love that. I'm glad they were able to do that.
Yeah, the whole Okinawa journey was great.
Yeah. Oh, and how he saw how everything was so different because he was so excited because he was still thinking it was like back in the old days, and all of a sudden you've got like this mall in the middle of this paradise. So it was interesting just to kind of see how he navigated that as well,
Yeah.
dealing with present day versus memories. So that was a really good story arc.
Yeah. And when you see like Daniel on screen, do you ever think like, "Oh, like that's my boss." Like that's like
Oh my gosh. I know it's so amazing. The first time when I first worked with him, it was surreal. It was absolutely surreal. Like I didn't even know what to say, what to do, how to stand, because I was just like, do you understand who you are? Do you understand that I've watched every single movie that you did? Do you understand? So I was trying not to like geek out, but I was still kind of geeking out on the inside. So, but yeah, no, it's really cool, especially when I watch our scenes together. I'm just like, I was actually in the scene with him. Like, I actually acted opposite him. And that is just so, words can't express how great that was.
Yeah. It's funny that you say that because it kind of like now like kind of thinking about it, your character, you work for Daniel, so like you kind of have to be like very sweet and nice to him. And now, like from you saying that, was that kind of like was that actually like you just being excited and like happy to work with him? Was it like a combination?
It was kind of a mixture of both. I mean, I knew who Sheila was as a character and what her temperament was going to be, but also working with Ralph is like you can't help but be sweet to him because he's such a great guy. So it's like it just naturally comes out anyway. So I didn't really have to work too hard or think too much about, well, I've got to stay in character and this is who she is. I mean, it was just effortless based on his energy. So yeah.
Yeah. What was your relationship with him like off camera?
Oh, it was great. He's very encouraging, nice. Before we would do the scene, he would be like, okay, this is what I'm thinking. What do you think? Let's try this, this, that, and other. I mean, just really kind, really nice, really. I think I've told this story before, that, in between takes sometimes when you're just kind of dancing around a little bit just to kind of blow off a little bit of steam. And so, no, he's very approachable, very, very kind, much better, much more than I even hoped for.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And Billy too, Johnny, he was great too. So yeah, both of them were just awesome to work with.
And you worked with both of them individually and at the same time, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that first episode, I had them both. So it was great, just the different energy and just watching them work and their different approaches to how they bring their characters out. And I learned a lot being on that set. I really, really did. It was a great training ground, so I wouldn't trade that for anything.
Yeah. So, how did you first start acting, and what like made you want to pursue it as a career?
Well, actually, I started off singing, and so I thought that's what I was going to do with my life. But then that just kind of went to the wayside, and I didn't. I did a little bit of theater in college, but I started acting because my father passed away suddenly. And so I kind of took a year off after that, just sort of getting my head together. And I was at a friend's house while I was at their pool, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, so what am I going to do? And then something said, try acting. And then it just so happened another friend was trying to help cast a short film. So she sent me the casting and I auditioned and I booked it and then I fell in love with it and I just kind of kept going with it. So it just was kind of on a whim, really.
Oh, that's great. And how did you get the role of Sheila in Cobra Kai?
Ah, so I had to tape my audition and send it into the casting, and then casting sent it on. And then I had to do a callback in person with the producers in the room. And so I already had it kind of set up in my head how I was going to do it. And then everything switched. They're like, well, we want to have you try it this way instead. And so I had to like spin everything around and change the character on a dime and still try to remember the words. And I was so nervous. I can't even tell you because it's like this wall of producers. And so I think I had my head down most of the time because I was terrified, but I was just like, just get through it, just do it. And they liked what I did, and the rest is history.
Yeah. Wait, so what were you originally doing that you had to switch it up?
Oh, Sheila was much more stern. I had her just playing it very straight, very stern, just kind of like, okay, you're on my nerves. Why are you doing this? So it was total opposite of what she turned out to be. And they were like, well, we want to kind of see her be a little softer. Can you be a little friendlier? Can you like, and I was like, oh, okay. So then I had to kind of, I had about 10 seconds to kind of try to switch it up. And so, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Because she was mean.
Yeah.
I had her very mean. So that wouldn't have worked.
Oh, so you read the what scene did you read?
The scene with Johnny. That was my
okay.
audition scene. Yeah. So I was just kind of like, I was much harsher than she turned out to be. So the way that they had it was much better.
We kicked the competition.
Basically, I was like, we kicked the competition. What are you talking about? And they were like, oh no, let's do this a little different. So yeah.
So that was your interpretation of the character. Like that's why you chose to do it, or did they tell you to do it like that?
You mean as far as being stern?
Yeah.
No, that was my interpretation because honestly, most of the characters that I play are like cops and judges and lawyers and doctors. So I'm always very, very straight. So of course, that's in my wheelhouse. So that's just what I thought. And so when I read the scene, I was like, oh yeah, he'd be getting on my nerves trying to rush me or whatever. So no, we're not going to be nice to him. But it turns out that wasn't right. But it's okay. You don't get it right every time, but that's okay.
Yeah. That's impressive that you were able to though change it up. Because were you like practicing like the whole time with the stern?
Yeah. And then when I walked in the room, I was thinking, oh, there's just maybe going to be one person there besides the casting director, but no, it was people. So then I had to kind of figure myself out then. And so it was nerve wracking, but they were great. I was just nervous, but they were awesome.
Were John, Josh, and Hayden there too?
That's who was in the room.
Oh, wow.
So when I walked in and I saw those three, I was like, oh, you've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. So yeah, but they were a lot of fun and they were very relaxed and they didn't make it awkward or weird or anything. So yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, that's great. And what was it like working with them, like when you were actually filming your scenes?
Oh, they're the same way. Very laid back, very, they just kind of let you do your thing. You know what I mean? And so if there's any major changes that need to happen, they step in, but they really let you take ownership of your character once you understand what they're looking for. And they just kind of let you do your thing. But they're also very kind, very fun. A lot of, they're great guys. So I love working with them.
Yeah. So like regarding that, there was actually a question in the chat. I see him here now. Talking Straight with Nate asked this. So like you said you improv, or the writers let you like do like stuff with your characters. So did you like improvise any actions or lines, like the kick the competition where the finger is you, or
that was me? Yeah, that part was me because I felt that she would be goofy enough to do that. So yeah. In a lot of the scenes, of course, you still have to stick by the script or whatever. But as far as actions, as long as it doesn't mess up the blocking, you just kind of do what your character would do. You know, you're being that person. So if I'm Sheila, then I'm Sheila, and so I'm going to be kind of, bubbly and happy and just wanting to make everything right and wanting everything to be great. And I'm always there whenever Daniel needs me, and I'm his right hand person. So yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool. So, when you got the audition, did you like know that this was the Karate Kid sequel, or did you not really?
Um, I'm trying to remember. I think I remember looking, I was like, what is a Cobra Kai? Like, what is this? So I kept trying to look it up, online, and there was nothing. There was nothing on the internet about it at all. So I was just like, what is this? And so when I got the sides, then I understood. I was like, oh, so this is a sequel. Oh, okay. But I still didn't quite get what they were trying to do. And I certainly I didn't get that it was going to be as big as it is. But yeah, I was very confused in the beginning, but I figured it out.
Did you know like you would be working with Ralph Macchio and William Zabka? Like, is that how it?
No, I honestly, I didn't know. I thought maybe they were going to have other actors to kind of step in. Because again, I didn't know exactly when they were picking up from, Karate Kid. So I had no idea until I really got into it. I was like, oh, okay. So, like, this is gonna be great. So of course I got nervous again, but as soon as I stepped on set, they were so cool. It was fine.
That's great. And
Yeah.
was your first day the dealership scene? Was that?
That was my first day, first time meeting Ralph and Billy, first time for everything. So yeah, I was just like, please don't let me get in here and fall on my face. Please, I like in front of these two legends. Like, I don't want them to be like, why did we hire her? So, but no,
Yeah.
the set was so relaxed and so cool, and everybody was so excited about what we were getting ready to do that yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. I mean, you probably had like more like one of the most like pressuring roles the first episode of this highly anticipated shows, and you're working with both the main actors of this show. So
I know. I
but
think
you
I
did
don't even
great.
think I got any sleep. Oh, thank you.
Of
Thank
course.
you. Because I certainly didn't sleep the night before. I just kept going over the lines over and over and just like, I gotta nail this. I gotta get it right. So yeah, but thank you.
Yeah, of course. And that was obviously a very long scene, the whole dealership. I'm curious as to like what parts did they like cut it at? Like after Johnny walked away from your conversation, was there like a cut there and then before the Daniel stuff?
Let me think. Okay, the way that we shot it, they actually shot everything kind of simultaneously. So, the offside, oh, well, and Mr. LaRusso wants to say something to you personally. That was actually happening while we were shooting our part. So it kind of
Okay.
all wound in together. And so the cut pretty much happened for me after Johnny walked off.
Got
If,
it.
yeah, but all of that whole thing happened at the same time.
Got it. And where were you when Daniel and Johnny were having their conversation? Were you in the back?
No, I was standing off to the side staring intently. Watching them. I didn't want to miss anything. So no, I just kind of, because I love to learn and I love to watch seasoned actors because I mean, it helps me with what I do. So I always try to be as close to the action as possible without interfering.
Yeah. Well, then you came in and handed
Yeah.
Daniel the iPad, or was that an
Yeah.
iPad, right? With the
Yeah.
estimate. Sheila, let me see the estimate.
Yeah. So I just kind of popped in, popped out. But yeah, but the whole time, anytime I wasn't there, I was always on screen. I was always kind of hovering somewhere to see what was happening.
Yeah. I think I was like looking closely at it. I think at the end, I think when Samantha came in and hugged Daniel, were you were in the back, right, on the computer? I think I saw you there.
Yeah, I was in the back for the shot where they were aiming that way, but
Yeah,
when they were aiming the other way, I didn't have to be there, so I was just kind of peeking around the corner to see what they were doing.
got it. And
Yeah.
what were you like doing in the back? Like type? Were you just pretending to type on the computer?
Pretty much just pretending to write stuff, pretending to type on the computer, pretending to look at estimates, just a little busy work. So it looked like I wasn't just sitting there watching them act. So yeah. There was
Yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of, yeah, there was a lot of that. But
Cool. It's always like whenever like I do like the interviews, like I always like kind of like look back at like some of the scenes and see like what like they're doing in the background. Like I remember.
I do that too.
Oh, you do that?
I do that all the time. I don't know why, because you have the two main people doing their thing, but I'm always checking to see what the background people are doing. I thought I was the only one.
No, I do it too, to see if they're like still in character, like to make it like, and you were,
Oh, well, thank you. I
Yeah.
tried.
It's like believable, if you have the background actors not doing anything, like.
Right. It just takes you completely out of the story because then you're noticing that they're not doing anything and then it just gets weird. So yeah, I always do that.
Yeah, you just have to like act as if the camera were right on you, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because I mean, you never know. They might cut to a background actor to see, just to kind of break up the whatever. So you need to be doing your thing the whole time.
Yeah. I remember I interviewed Okay, who played remember Sean in season 3, Robbie's juvie friend?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, so I interviewed him and do you remember the soup kitchen scene where they were all at the soup
Yes,
kitchen?
yes.
So I was watching him in particular because he's in the background while Robbie and Johnny have their scene, and he's like doing something with the food, and I'm like looking at him, and he's just like spraying pepper. He's not even in this like the frame, and I'm like, I asked him about that. He's like, oh yeah, I was just like doing like what I think my character would do, and it's cool.
Yeah, you still got to stay committed, regardless of whether you're saying anything, regardless of whether you're on camera or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and it actually helps you with your character later because you don't have that break, so you can kind of keep it flowing and keep stay where you're supposed to mentally and emotionally and all of that. So yeah.
Yeah. And speaking of that, I'm also curious, in episode 9, when you were talking, when Johnny was showing Daniel, or when Daniel was showing Johnny the cars,
Mm-hmm.
you were talking to, I think it was a LaRusso worker.
A mechanic, yeah, he was a
Yeah.
mechanic. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So do you remember like what, because you could hear the conversation, but you can't really hear the words. Like what were you guys talking about?
Now that I don't remember. I don't remember. I think we were just trying to make up stuff about I need you to make sure that the oil change is done on such and such, or did you make sure to change the spark plugs on something? I can't remember, but I do remember that we wanted to keep it in the world of what was happening just in case the mics picked us up. So we're not over there talking about what we're going to have for lunch or something. So yeah, I think that's what we were saying. We were just going over like fake repairs of some car. I think, yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's what.
And you improvised that? Was that?
Mhm.
Oh, cool.
Yep. We improvised all of that, and he was great to work with. So yeah, it was cool.
Oh, that's fun because you could hear like the conversation, you just can't really hear the words. So
Right, right. And that's what we were kind of worried about. We're like, okay, we need to really talk about something that would be happening in this world just in case. So I'm glad that we did because you can kind of tell that something's going on off to the side. So yeah.
yeah. And were you like familiar enough with cars to like kind of maintain a conversation?
Not at all. Not at all. My dad tried to teach me about cars. I can't. So all I remember was oil change and spark plug. That's all I can tell you. That's about all I've
It's funny. I mean, I feel like it would have been like a difficult conversation. Like if it was me, I don't really know anything about cars. I would have been like, hey, like the tire and the car, like did you I wouldn't have known what
got.
this.
Well, the mechanics pretty much knew about cars, so he could kind of keep it rolling. So that helped a lot. So at least one of us knew what we were talking about.
Got it, got it. Did he know what was he like was he like familiar with cars? Was he able to like kind of talk
Yeah,
about?
Yeah, because I think he works on his own cars a little bit. So yeah, so he was able to kind of guide me through some stuff. And it was like, okay, I don't think we would say that because that doesn't fit with that or whatever. So yeah, so he really helped me out a lot, or I would have been completely lost.
Got it. That's cool that the big three let you like go with that, you know, and let you do the
Yeah,
cover.
yeah. No, they're very, I think that they really do have a love for actors, and they really are interested and invested in seeing how we bring the characters to life. I think they get a lot of joy out of it. They really get a kick out of the things that we do. So yeah, they're just like, you know what you're doing, do your thing. And if it really messes up or it doesn't really quite fit, then we'll kind of give you some direction. But other than that, you know who you are.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
And I know they said um, like one reason they love the universe and like something they focus on is like the the characters who aren't as major, like a Daniel or a Johnny, because that's what makes the show so beloved. Like that you can
Mhm,
have characters like Sheila, Counselor Blatt, like
mhm.
Brooks, like all these like characters, these like who like are more minor, but like put them all together and they're like it's just a whole like a great cast.
Yeah, I appreciate them for that too, because it actually feeds the world too. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Um, yeah, I think that the way that, and they're very specific in a lot of ways, I mean, as far as what they want their characters to be and how they want those characters to fit into the greater world. So you can tell even just by the writing and just by the way that they have framed the characters and set them up, that they really put a lot of thought into it. And it's because they love this world and this universe so much that they actually do think of every detail, and they don't think of a secondary character as just a filler. You really are important to what's happening in this world. And yeah, and I think that's that's what makes this series so much, so very special.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's like it's kind of like Star Wars in a way. You have every creature, every alien has a name, and it's like
Right.
it's such a big universe that like even like someone who's on screen for like 1 second, there's
Mhm.
like a book written about them. So
There's a purpose for everyone, and you're not, even as an actor, you're not made to feel secondary, and your character isn't secondary, and so that means a lot to us. I can't speak for everyone, but it does mean a lot to me.
yeah. So going back to the scene with Daniel and Johnny at the car at the dealership, or wait, no, like when Daniel was showing Johnny the cars and then
Mhm.
you were talking to the mechanic, what do you think would have happened? Because it was Robbie's day off. That's why Robbie
Mhm.
didn't take Johnny on the test drive. But what do you think would have happened if Robbie was working that day and
Mhm.
you went to get Robbie and then
Mhm.
Robbie sees Johnny and Daniel, basically the end of episode 9, but there, what do you think would
Yeah.
have happened?
Ooh, an argument of some sort. I think that the tension would have come in between those three a lot sooner. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I don't know that a full-on fight would have broken out, but there definitely would have been some words.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, yeah.
And how do you think Sheila would have reacted seeing this?
I think she would have been in shock, but since Sheila can't fight, I don't think that she would have been able to jump in and break it off. But I definitely think she would have been in shock and would have been kind of calling from the side. Now, boys, now we can't act like that, boys. We gotta treat each other right. She wouldn't have been listened to, I don't think, but she would have tried. She would have given it her best.
Okay. Do you think Sheila knows about like Daniel's, because she works for Daniel, but do you think she knows about like the whole karate background? Do you think she knows about Cobra Kai versus Miyagi-Do and all this stuff?
I think she definitely knows about the karate background because, we kick the competition. So everybody knows Daniel as the, kind of the hometown hero of
Yeah.
the franchise. Um, and I'm sorry, what was the second part of the question?
Um,
Let's
wait.
see. Did she know about Cobra Kai versus Miyagi-Do?
Yes, yes, yes.
I don't know that she knew. I think she eventually finds out about it because, you know, when they had when they were doing the presentation at the fair, and then Cobra Kai shows up and kind of busts everything up and messes everything up. They did that in front of the entire town. So I think eventually she started to understand the rivalry. I think she might have known that there might have been a little bit in the beginning, you know, especially when Johnny was like creating his own dojo or resuscitating the dojo, but I don't think she knew how big it was until that moment.
Yeah.
Or how it was. Yeah.
It's interesting to think because there's also the fact that your character was working alongside Robby, and then like, was there a point where you found out that Robby was the son of the guy who you first met at the dealership?
Wow.
There's so much. There's so much.
Hmm. I don't know. I don't think that she would have been that into that just yet, because I think her whole focus was the dealership and just making sure that Daniel was cool. You know what I mean? So I don't know that she would have been that into Robby's story outside of them just working alongside each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, until Robby would have shown up to show, you know, to do the test drive, and then I would have found out, because then the fight would have broken out and that whole thing. So, but yeah.
That would have been a pretty big revelation for Sheila, like just seeing all this stuff unfold. Like, what you're like sons who? And
right, exactly. Like, oh wait, and you came in to get your car fixed, but you really hate this guy. Why are you even here? Like, I don't even understand what's happening. But please, everybody, stop fighting.
Kind of like Moon, you know, the Moon character, like how she's all for peace and stuff. And getting along.
Yes, let's light some incense, light some candles, let's meditate, let's talk it through. We don't have to do this.
Exactly. So you said did you watch all the Karate Kid movies?
Yes. Now keep in mind though, it's been a while, so I might not remember everything, but I did see it all. Yes.
Including the next Karate Kid?
I don't know that I saw the next Karate Kid. I don't know that I saw the next Karate Kid. No, I don't think I did that one.
And what about the reboot? Did you watch the Jaden Smith one?
I did. I loved it. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. I thought it really it kept the spirit of the original. It really did. And not very many reboots can do that, but I think it really kept the heart of the original. So yeah, I love that one.
Yeah, I think all of them are just really special.
Yeah.
All great, and all ties in. Well, that one's not canon. That one doesn't it's not part of the Cobra Kai universe, but
right.
They're still all special.
No, absolutely. And it's always, and the stories are always about redemption and learning life lessons, and, you know, learning about yourself and learning about other people and how we all interact and how we all connect to each other. So yeah, I think that all of them had great stories to tell, and all of them had great lessons to give. Uh-oh, I think we're frozen. Oh, shoot.
Whoops.
Are we back?
I think so.
I don't know what happened, but yeah, we're back.
Okay, cool. I have no idea what just happened. That doesn't usually happen. That was the first time that.
Yeah, you keep kind of freezing up, so I don't know if that's.
Yeah, that might be. How is it now? Is it fine?
No, it's fine now. You were kind of going blurry before everything froze, but I think you're okay now.
All right, cool. I just turned off. I had one device that was like connected to Wi-Fi. I just turned that off. So.
Okay.
I might be a little blurry, but hopefully it's still working.
Yeah, I can still hear you. You're still moving around, and you're fine. I think it's okay.
All right, cool. So, what would you say was the most challenging part about filming Cobra Kai?
Being outside in the cold when it's supposed to be like we're filming in the spring, and I think when we were outside and Daniel was showing Johnny the cars, I think that day it was about 30 degrees, maybe
Oh
30.
wow.
And I had like this skirt on and no pantyhose and this jacket. I think that was the most challenging part, even though it was great. Every time in between takes, they would run over and like throw a coat over me. But the weather would have to be the most challenging part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
I know it doesn't sound glamorous, but yeah, that would have been it.
Yeah,
It
because they
was,
filmed you filmed in like September or around then, right? The
I'm trying to
fall?
think. Oh God. Now I can't remember what months it was, but I know it was cold. That's all I can tell you. And it wasn't a cold that was going to get warmer later. It was just cold. And I remember looking and I was like, it's like 38 degrees. And so we had to shoot everything outside, and even the where everybody sits and watches everything was outside. Everything.
Wow.
So there was no escape like running inside. But yeah, but it was great. We just pretended like everything was warm and just kept moving forward.
Oh, you can't even tell when you're watching.
Oh,
Everyone
goodness. I was
'cause
wondering
you
if you were going to like see the smoke coming out of my mouth.
No, no. I wouldn't have even known that those scenes were cold. Everyone looked fine.
Yeah,
So,
it's acting.
acting. There were some other scenes from the show, like in episode 9, the party at the
Mm.
beach. I don't know if you like remember watching that. Like there was definitely it was at nighttime. There was smoke coming out of everyone's mouth. Like you could tell it was like cold.
My heart went out to them because I can't even imagine. You got the wind from the water. Oh my God. That had to be brutal. But I mean, it was a great scene, but yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
it
my
didn't look easy.
God. Yeah.
How long did it take you to film your scenes?
Ooh, the first day was the longest because I believe that was the first day of shooting, the first day of everything, and it was setting everything up. So I think that day we might have been on set about 13 hours.
Oh wow.
Think, yeah, they can get kind of long. The other scenes, I think I was done within like 6 or 7 hours, something like that. But yeah, the longest was about 13, I believe. But that was because, you're setting everything in place and you're just trying to, kind of figure things out and kind of get your footing. So the first days of shooting anything are going to really be the longest for the most part.
Yeah. Was it like a morning almost
Yeah,
into night thing?
we started early, early morning. I think my call time, oh my God, I want to say it was like 5:30. I
Mm,
want to say 5:30 in the morning,
wow.
something like that. Yeah. And so then you got to go through hair and makeup and the whole thing. And then you go through the blocking and then you go all the way until like the evening. So I want to say we wrapped around 6 or 7, something like that. 7, I want to say. It was a long day, but it was fun, but it was a long
Yeah.
day.
And you had to like be so happy and like like make it look like you were like happy to be there. And meanwhile, like behind the scenes, you're like working for all these hours. So at least
No, but
Johnny, at least
at
Johnny
least
didn't. At least Johnny didn't have to like he was like miserable and working like 13 hours. He didn't really have to act on that part.
But no, honestly though, I mean, I know this sounds crazy, but I love, 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 love being on set. I don't
Yeah.
mind. I really don't. I love being on set because, in jobs that I've had before, I'm sitting behind a desk for 8 hours. So I would rather be on set for 13 doing what I love than, being behind a desk for 8, just kind of staring at a computer. So, and you find things to do to amuse yourself. You talk to other actors that aren't doing anything. You go to Crafty, which is my favorite part. So you do a lot of things to just kind of make the time flow. So it was cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm sure being on a set like that, you could be there for however long. It's a
Yeah.
blessing. Yeah.
It really, really is. And everybody's so nice and everybody's so cool and everybody's got a great sense of humor. So you're laughing like all the time. So no, it's a great set to be on. So I wouldn't mind being there 15, 16 hours. It's fine with me because I always have a blast.
That's great.
Yeah.
So, in season 1, the dealership was located in Encino in the show, but then season 2 and 3, they had Daniel and Amanda like focused on the other dealerships. So, what are your thoughts on, is Sheila, like, do you think Sheila's still working at the Encino dealership? And is there a possibility that maybe we see her again there, or if she goes to another dealership?
I think because she works for Daniel, I think she bounces between all of them. I think that the one in Encino is home base, of course, but I think she just kind of spends time doing whatever he needs at each of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe one day she'll pop up again at some point. Who knows? But yeah, but I think she's just kind of all over the place.
Yeah. Would you want to
Yeah.
return if they asked
Oh,
you?
oh, absolutely. It was a great show, a great set. I loved everybody there. So yeah, I would absolutely love, love, love to return if they ask.
Great,
No,
great.
no question.
And if you were to return, what would you want to see from Sheila in her next appearance?
Ooh. I would love to see Sheila learn how to fight.
Oh,
I think
Miyagi-Do.
that would be really dope. Since that's not quite her nature, I think it would be cool for her to start kind of taking a few lessons and, and see where she goes from there. That would be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Do you think she would join Miyagi-Do and stick with Daniel?
Yeah, I think she would. I mean, someone else asked me which dojo I was more aligned with, and I like Cobra Kai because you're kind of badass. Excuse my language.
It's
Yeah,
okay.
is too, but it's something about bad boys I just love. But but I do think that she does have a loyalty, excuse me, to Daniel. And I think Daniel's been really, really good to her, and they have a rapport. So I do think that she would go with Miyagi-Do.
Yeah. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
both badass, but Cobra Kai
yeah.
is just, it's Cobra Kai.
Yeah, Cobra Kai is a little outside of her. I think she would get beat up a lot at Cobra Kai. I don't know that she would survive. She needs people that care about her, so I think Miyagi-Do would be the choice.
Probably,
Yeah,
probably.
yeah.
So, if you could play any other character on the show other than Sheila, who would you play and why?
Oh my gosh. Any of the current?
Anybody.
Anybody that's already that I would take over their character, or if I would. Oh.
Yeah, like just for fun, maybe for a day or something.
Let's see. Tory.
Oh, why
I
Tori?
would take Tory. Yes, absolutely. Because again, it's another badass character that's so different than Sheila. I would love to walk in her shoes and just be kind of tough and, stands up for herself and all of those things. So yeah, Tori would be my person.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool. Is she your favorite character?
Let me see. Is she?
Yeah, who's your favorite?
Outside of my boss, of course. I would say that Johnny is my favorite, followed closely by Tori. Johnny, because Johnny is just funny without even meaning to be funny. And he's just so out of touch with everything that it's sad, but it's hilarious at the same time. So I really like watching him navigate this, the current world while his mind is very much still stuck back in the 80s. And so that's why I really gravitate towards him, because it's hilarious. Just watching him try to figure out the internet and just all of those things is just like, wow, that's terrible.
Yeah. I would say Johnny and Miguel are my top two favorite
Okay. Yeah, Miguel's pretty cool too. Yeah, I can see
characters.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Miguel's like, for like kids my age, is like the Daniel LaRusso, like how like kids back then looked up to Daniel, like kids now look up to Miguel,
That's true. Yeah, you're right. I can see that. Yeah, absolutely. I get it.
Yeah. So, if you weren't an actress, what would you be doing right now?
I would go back to singing. It's another creative outlet that I really, really love. And I kind of feel bad because I haven't let my voice go, but it's not as conditioned as it used to be. And I really miss doing that. So I think if I wasn't focused on acting, I would definitely focus on singing and recording.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
maybe you could do both.
Maybe at some point, maybe. I'm looking forward to like when everything kind of opens up and sort of gets back to normal, maybe finding a vocal coach and, kind of getting my voice back together and, seeing what else I can do with it. So we'll
Cool.
see. We'll see.
Maybe Sheila has a musical number in season 4.
Or 5 or 6, whenever they decide to bring. I don't know. That would be kind of cool. Like have a karaoke night or something, and then Sheila gets up there and sings and blows everybody away. I like the way you think. We need to get together and see if we can figure out some storylines for her.
We'll write like a spin-off movie.
Yeah, why not? It could happen. You never know.
They're making a Karate Kid musical. Did you hear?
I heard about that. Oh, I heard about that. Maybe. Now you got my wheels turning. We'll see.
That'd be great.
That would be kind of great.
So who would you? So the musical is from the original Karate Kid movie. So who would you play if you could be in that?
Oh my gosh.
And like sing songs as
Ooh. I don't know. That's a good question. You have some really good questions.
Thank you.
Maybe there's like a local bar that Miyagi goes to or something, and maybe I'm like the singer, the resident singer there or whatever, and it's just kind of the watering hole that everyone goes to. I don't know. That's all I can think of. Oh God.
Hey.
And maybe I just sing songs that kind of speak to what's happening in their lives at that moment, and it just kind of ties together. I don't know.
The possibilities are endless.
Exactly.
Yeah, maybe if they do a Cobra Kai musical, like they get Sheila on, like.
Hey, you never know. Give her some cute costumes and put some feathers in her hair. Do something. I don't know. Just make her kind of break out and be totally different. That would be actually kind of dope.
That'd be pretty fun.
Yeah.
So, I have one more question, and then if we could take like a couple questions from the chat before we end. So, can you compare working on Cobra Kai to your other acting roles that you've done?
You mean as far as the experience? Just in general, or?
Maybe just like as an actress, like the challenges and just like the experience as a whole, just in general.
Let's see. I'm trying to kind of go back through the stuff that I've done. I don't know, because I really have been fortunate to be on a lot of sets where everybody really got along and it was a cohesive unit and everybody was very supportive and understanding and all of that. I would say that with Cobra Kai, I do like the freedom of, like I said before, making Sheila my own and kind of embodying who I think she is and having the freedom to do that. Sometimes when I'm playing other roles, when you are playing a judge, you have to kind of stick to exactly, what's on the paper. Or if you're doing something in medicine, you have to kind of stick to exactly what's on the paper. So yeah, I would say that would be the biggest difference, is just having the freedom to be fluid. Yeah.
Right.
So I like that. Yeah.
That's cool. I find that the most enjoyable part of the show, like the creativity of it. So you can
And
see
it
it.
feels more authentic and organic, and it feels more real because you're able to kind of, this is who I am.
Yeah, exactly. So do you have time for like just a couple questions from the chat
Sure,
before
yeah.
we wrap up? All right, cool. I see a good one here. I can't say that whole username, but what's the best acting advice you've received?
The best acting advice I've ever received was to rehearse as much as you can, get the character into your body as much as you can, and then just let it go. Let it go. Let it be whatever it's going to be. Because if you try to plan everything out down to the minutia, you lose the essence of that character and it becomes very robotic and very rote. And So yeah, just prepare as much as you can, but then just let it go, send it out to the universe, and whatever it is, it is. And a lot of times when you do that, you're trusting your instincts, and it makes the character and it makes the scene that much more richer.
It's good advice. Yeah. For all the aspiring actors out there. So, also just a quick reminder for everyone, we're at $51 raised. Thank you guys so much.
Oh, thank you.
That's great for SAG-AFTRA. So if you guys want to donate, we'll do a couple more questions, and then you can still donate during the stream, or even after the stream, you can
Awesome.
donate. So yeah, it'll still be up there for forever. So
Oh, good.
yeah. So can you see the chat, or do you want me to pick out the questions?
I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see.
All right.
You can pick them. That's great.
All right. This is a good question. Brittany Pieces asks, what character inspires you the most from the show?
Daniel. Daniel inspires me the most, just in the way that he has a really good heart, and he really wants to see the best in people and bring out the best in people. No matter what their past is, no matter what they've done, he still sees that there's a good person inside, that if they just let that person out, then they could grow and develop into, you know, a person that could help so many others. So yeah, he's actually absolutely an inspiration. And I think, I know it sounds weird, but I do sometimes think about that character in my dealings with people. It's like, there's always good in someone. Everyone has good in them. You know, you just have to be patient, and you have to see that in them and help them see it in themselves.
Yeah. You're not just saying that because he's your boss, right?
No.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No, but that was a great question though. But no, I honestly, he is like the most inspirational to me.
That is a very good question. Do you want to take like 2 more questions? Is that okay?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, no, that's fine.
All right, cool. All right. Johnny Utah asks, have any scenes made you cry?
Oh my God, when Miguel was in the hospital after he fell off the railing. Oh,
Yeah.
that is, oh my goodness. And everybody's just trying to will him to live. It was, oh my God. That whole thing just broke my heart. It really did. It just, yeah, that was the most emotional for me. Absolutely.
Yeah, the voicemail is what got it for me when Johnny was listening to Miguel's voicemail.
Oh, yeah. Oh my
So
God.
sad.
It really was. It just yeah. That's a very close second. Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so let's see. Let's get one
Okay.
final great question.
Okay.
This is a good one. Sharon Takar, sorry, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Who is your role model?
In life, my dad. He was someone who, he passed away. It'll be 11 years, 12 years this year. But he was disabled. And so he overcame a lot of things. He didn't have, he was disabled in combat. But he was able to get married and have children and build this life and have grandchildren. And he became a mentor for a lot of younger people, you know, people my age as I was growing up. And he was very influential in a lot of people's lives. And so he absolutely is my role model. And whenever I face a challenge or something that I feel I can't overcome, I think about all of the things that he did, and all of the ways that he was. And I try to be like him every day. So
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah. And did he did you get to like tell him about were you acting when he was around?
No, he passed away about a year before I started acting. And so I kind of got into acting on a whim, but it was very therapeutic for me to get into acting after that. But I do feel like he's with me all the time. And I do feel like he kind of sprinkles a little luck over me from time to time. So yeah, hopefully wherever he is, he can see what I'm doing.
Yeah, I'm sure he is. Just like Mr. Miyagi looking down at Daniel, you know, guiding
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
I'm sure it's the same. So, um, I just want to thank you also so much for coming on. I had a really great time talking to you. The beginning was definitely very fun. I have to
That was
watch that back.
so awesome. No, that was absolutely great. I can't wait to see it. And I appreciate you so much for reaching out and having me on. It is an honor to talk to you and to have everyone listening. And so thank you so much for your support. I do appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm honored to be talking to you, and thank you for helping. We raised $51, and yeah, it'll be up there. So even when people could rewatch it, they could still donate. And yeah, thank you all for asking your questions and for joining
Yes.
the stream.
Yes.
And yeah, is there anything else before we end that you want to say to the fans out there?
I just want to say again that I appreciate you all. Thank you so much for making the show what it is. Thank you so much for caring about all the characters and making us feel special, and that what we do means something and matters. And hopefully I will be in front of you one day again soon. Thank you.
Yes. Hopefully we see Sheila again. So
Yeah.
so I usually end the interviews with Cobra Kai never dies. So if you want to take us out with that line, I know Daniel's your guy, but
That's okay. Just this one time, I guess I can say
I won't tell. I won't tell.
it.
All
All right, y'all. Cobra Kai never dies.